10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Navi's turn to pick.
Earth Spirit.
Welcome back, guys. The Lonely
Dire
Hearts Club is
team
here
pick.
from the JD Studios. I'm Durka, taking you through the WePlay Season 3 group stage. We've only got one best of one remaining left tonight, and that's straight from the CIS group stage. Navi up against Tornado.RoX. Best of one. Get cracking, shall we? My co-caster Blaze is here as well, and the draft. Beginning, nothing too interesting so far, except that Earth Spirit first picked by Navi.
Yeah, I mean, they'll take that option if it's given them. Of course, the Chen and the Wristbands almost feel really obligatory just because of how well Sameko and Artstyle can execute with that kind of hero composition, but Navi, it's really hard to ban against them in the opener. You pretty much are going to be giving them something they want no matter what, and this Earth Spirit should be really setting the tone for a very action-packed game. I mean, obviously, with CIS teams, you're going to see a little bit more kill activity across the map, but just in general, like, it feels like Tornado already know what they wanted to do in the early stage of this draft, but Navi still gets some great picks as a result. Now, the Earth Spirit, while he's very solid, isn't like as overwhelming as he was before. But one of the most interesting things is that Tornado.RoX is, again, for the 4th time in a row, picking up a Witch Doctor for RMN. So they're trying to make sure he's as comfortable as possible. And of course, they also get the Lone Druid, who is a hero that you don't want the Witch.
Sure. Ghostic has had some kind of on and off matches. His Broodmother has fallen short a couple of times in the past, but I think his Nature's Prophet and his Lone Druid I've seen once or twice in the past couple of weeks has been pretty on point. But CIS region has kind of had their own little little ecosystem, this little weird area of drafting where they're the kind of region that picks up Nature's Prophet and Zeus non-stop. No one else does it, but they love this global power. Some people pick up like Furion plus Spectre, Zeus plus Spectre. They have like an AA thrown in with, you know, Invoker being a highly prioritized pick, except in this draft, Invoker hasn't been touched at all, and honestly, I'm a little bit surprised.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the really interesting thing is the fact that Tornado.RoX so highly prioritizes the Lone Druid. While in, like, American metagame, it's very common to see this in the first phase. We actually have not even seen Tornado.RoX pick it in the past 3 weeks. So they have not prioritized this hero whatsoever. They've been ignoring it through almost all of their drafts, and suddenly they're like, okay, well, this is what we want. And while it does bring a lot to the table, quite clearly, it's been effective for a lot of teams. Be interesting to see just to kind of how Navi play around it. Obviously, they love to strategize in a global scale because they're always picking up heroes like Wisp or like Nature's Prophet. But I think maybe going for like a full-on global strat would be a little bit too far at this point. I mean, the Zeus already banned out, the Spectre a little bit vulnerable to this dual core of the Juggernaut, the Lone Druid. You got the Spirit Bearer, the Healing Ward, your Voodoo Restoration. You're going to push down towers very quickly, and you're going to sustain your waves much indefinitely. So it's going to be tough for Navi to actually get in there and job done to counter push. And going greedier is, generally speaking, not the option. So something that can kind of lend itself to the fights earlier. Maybe they can get themselves, like they love the Sven, for example, for Ditya. That's a really strong option in the early game. I'm sure Gyrocopter would be good as well. But they go back for what you were talking about, the cherished Invoker. That's the Dandy.
Dandy Invoker. I mean, we used to dream of the days when you would pick up Invoker and Pudge, but now it's just become such a mainstay hero in drafts nowadays. But Tornado.RoX straight back into it with Puck. And this is a hero that I think Alliance, with their kind of storming victories past month or so, have really brought back into the limelight. With their Batrider mid for S4, Puck on S4 as well. People have started taking notice. Null Talisman, sometimes with the Drow Ranger, we've seen a fair number of Drow picks
10
over
seconds
the
remaining.
past couple of games in WePlay. The extra attack damage you do get from
5 seconds
Drow Aura
remaining.
definitely helps out, but of course Juggernaut's going to be the safe lane carry here for RoX, so very unlikely to see any kind of like
Reserve
roaming
time.
Drow or anything like that. But Na'Vi, what have we got so far? Offlane Furion for General. They even banned out the Batrider so Dendi couldn't get his hands on it. But Seneko Earth Spirit. What do we want for art style? Because he's played a lot of Chen, Enchantress, a bit of, Dazzle, Witch Doctor, Venge here and there. He always seems very familiar with the super aggressive roaming 5 support role, though. He doesn't want to sit on his laurels and farm away, and there's the Enchantress. He just loves to get up in their
Dire
face.
team
He loves
That's
that aggressive playstyle.
Yeah, the two options I was looking at there was either the Enchantress or the Ancient Apparition. Obviously, the Enchantress is much more aggressive, more involved, and has a lot of potential. But I still like the AA, even though you banned out the Oracle early in this draft, you don't have to
10
worry
seconds
about
remaining.
that factor. The Healing Ward and the Voodoo Restoration alone still give you enough
5
to pick up
seconds
the AA,
remaining.
and it just goes so well with the Wrath of Nature and perhaps the Sunstrike. So I think that there's
Reserve time.
value in it, but even more value in just getting on the map early. That's the most important thing for Na'Vi, is they need to kind of generate some kill momentum, make sure that Dendi gets very quickly and crisply to his Hand of Midas, because if he's kind of lollygagging around the 1,000 gold mark early in the game, Puck starts kind of pulling back his lane, and we see some tower pushing as well as ganking happening for RoX. They can really pressure the Invoker back to the point where he doesn't really get to go into full farm mode. The Forge Spirits of Midas, they usually come out at a time that accelerates the Invoker to a point where he can create high ground defense, he can contribute a lot to the team fight, but there's this weakness period where when you have a really aggressive lineup like Tornado.RoX, it's just you're one dream coil away from finding those kills, and I feel like they do have to play around Dendi a little bit and change the hero for that.
Navi's
Well,
turn
Ditchira's
to
been playing a
ban.
fair amount of Sven, like you said. There's also the Spectre out there. Definitely a hero you could potentially look towards, but you always have to worry
way too
about...
greedy, man.
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost an auto loss if they pick up the Spectre. There's just way too much against them. Tornado.RoX have a lot of
10
tempo.
seconds
Yeah, you've got to look at the laning stage as well. I mean, if you put a Spectre against a lone Druid, there's no way you're winning that lane.
5 seconds
Because you've got an Earth Spirit that's going to be roaming around looking to control lanes, and maybe your solo support almost, as
Reserve
Enchantress is
time.
going to be sitting in the jungle, maybe ganking the off lane for the Nature's Prophet. It's honestly, I think it's a rough pick.
Dire team pick.
You almost have to pick a self-sustaining safe laner. Of Pain, something like that can just kind of stand their ground against the lone Druid and harass them out. Oh, what about a Weaver? If you Weaver here for Ditchira.
Yeah, I think Weaver would be pretty solid. I mean, obviously there is the heavy armor lone Druid, but everybody else is very hero, and you're going to go right on top of them pretty quickly. So the Enchantress is going to be putting out a good amount of gear damage, no matter the case, in the
10
mid game.
seconds
So
remaining.
I can say the Weaver gives a nice little bit of mobility, survivability. She
5 seconds
pretty involved,
remaining.
so I like that. I think if there's anything else that kind of sparks my interest that actually
Reserve time.
brings a stun to the table, because I think that's always nice to have against a Witch Doctor. Let's say the Earth Spirit needs to use his stun for like a big team fight combo, like hitting 3 heroes instead of focusing on 1 and in reserve. And then Invoker exhausts his 2 spells for the big opener. At that point, Witch Doctor, his role in the team fight, RMN, is standing back, waiting for a Death Ward opportunity. And he has found his Aghanims 2 out of 3 games he played. So you have to have a stun for that Witch Doctor. And I feel like just having one extra one available would be nice. So that's why I kind of would prefer that a little bit more for Ditchira. So here's like Wraith King and Sven come to mind pretty quickly. How do you feel about the having just in general a melee carry V side against Tornado.RoX? Is it too
10
easy
seconds
to
remaining.
kite him with the Entangle and with the
Crystal
Puck
Maiden.
and do just kind of with the Frostbite now, just running circles?
Navi's turn
wow.
to pick.
I was going to say it feels a little bit awkward without mobility. The Sven Warcry is pretty nice and all that. Are they going to run the Ditchira safe lane Prophet? That's what's happening. So that completely opens up their lanes then. And that's kind of what I was looking for, having a self-sustaining safe laner that can go and join fights if they want to. Push General up onto the top lane with the Faceless Void, and art style with Seneko, they can just go roaming around doing whatever they want, controlling these lanes. While Tornado.RoX, they're up to. Lone Druid's going to be all alone down in that bot lane. Yol and R are meant to roam around though. I mean, Yol's going to be sitting in the jungle to like level 2 or level 3, just frostbiting through neutral camps and stacking them up a little bit. But you have to control that mid, because Artstyle's Enchantress is going to be right onto that Puck's tail.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Enchantress
10
is going to be able to put out a
seconds
lot of
remaining.
pressure, and Yol's going to have to be the one to respond to it. He's going to be the one sitting on the high
5
ground,
seconds
look, break
remaining.
smokes. He's going to be the one that obviously it gets at least one frostbite out on the creep. So The disarm can be very powerful in this game, but in general, I feel like this kind of last pick Void does throw rocks off their game a little bit in terms of their expectations. I mean, Nature's Prophet only needs like one item to be relevant, maybe even 0 items. You could argue that he contributes to the early fights just because he has some good natural stats behind him. So all in all, I feel like Na'Vi are kind of getting the perfect mix of greed and potential. And I feel like it's going to be harder for Roxas to punish than your traditional Dit Your Raw carry.
That's what they held on into. Of course, wouldn't be a game without a pause to begin with. So Ghost Stick Lone Druid going to be heading off towards the off lane alone. A little bit worried about BZZ's puck mid. Against an Invoker, that lane, like you said, it kind of swings back and forth. You know, the Null Taskman with the Fairy Fire is going to be good for puck initially to get those early last hits in. But if Seneko sits mid, which we've seen a lot from Earth Spirits recently, you're basically just playing it like, you know, the old Naga and Scarrath used to do. You sit mid, you zone out the off lane, you zone out the mid laner, and you also deny creeps. You start auto-attacking these creeps to deny them down and drag the lane back a little bit. So Dendi's lane, relatively good. But then there's also the flip side. Tornado.RoX are going to send the Witch Doctor mid and try and counteract that as much as they can. It's just going to be this kind of back and forth where they do the dance of death with each other, basically reacting to what their opponents are doing. Tron's Juggernaut, we've seen some good things from him though. I think one of the things with Tron is that sometimes he doesn't know when to really get and join in the team fights. Definitely something that Tornado.RoX have been struggling with a little bit in the past, is kind of transitioning from the phase where, you know, safe lane carries farming and getting themselves boosting into those items, and then actually engaging in these team fights. Got BZZ on the puck initiating for you. I think it's going to be cool. Are they going to smoke down here? It's going to do the old walk.
I think that like normally with Navi's lineup, I would be worried about like Roxas getting just completely outfarmed due to the efficiency because of the fact the Enchantress is great in the jungle, the Nature Prophet could dip into it pretty well. But with the fact that the Lone Druid is going to be going for a very early Iron Talon for the Ring of Protection you already see on him, and the fact that whenever Jug wants to, he can dip into the jungle himself so the Witch Doctor can go ahead and get solo experience. Like I feel like they're going to be able to distribute this pretty nicely. So the kill execution is pretty simple at the earlier stage of the game for RoX. And they're even getting good words out already. So already, I don't know what General's doing up there, just kind of crossing eyes. I guess neither side will have eyes for them, but yeah, he's gonna be moving up there. I think also he's gonna have a really good time. Faceless Void against Witch Doctor, Crystal Maiden. That's a very clear-cut lane in my mind. The Frostbite, as far as I recall, does not prevent him from time walking, so he's just gonna be able to pretty much do whatever the hell he wants.
General is going to run himself away, so that movement across BCC, all about jump across, perfect efficiency. Going to start blocking up that wave as well. Then he got his bounty run down at the bot spot. Both of them, what were we looking at base damage wise? Yeah, it's pretty balanced there between the two. Fairy Fire's added in. Ghost Stick, he's not going to be doing the whole dragging his lane across and doubling up the wave down at bot because he knows he's in a 1v1 against this Furion. He knows that he can kind of just sit in lane, hold the equilibrium where it is naturally, sort of in this box here, in that entrance, and just right-click the Nature's Prophet with his Lone Druid Bear and try and stay away from the treants as much as he can.
Check out Seneko though. He's already got a ward down, and he's just going to go ahead and steal half the experience. Perhaps the last hits here. Christmas base damage is 40, so she's not going to have an easy time at all last hitting these creeps. Seneko will grab it. That's 75 gold, and half the experience put away. Yol's jungling is completely useless right now.
And then he comes and sits mid, and what can the puck do, honestly? Puck is going to move across and realize there's no real way to trap up this Earth Spirit. Blinking away at Dendi, right-click him down with the Forge Spirits up. His last hitting power becomes so much more potent. Already seeing that now. He's up to 3 for 4, 4 denies up on this Invoker, while Artstyle double creeps ready.
That's the perfect set of creeps to start with here. If he goes for the smoke, he's going to get Surround Stack, but it looks like he has no time to waste. He's going to go in, he's going to get the stun, he's going to get the clap, and they are going to get first blood.
Alright, men. Way too far forward. They thought they had General on lockdown. Abs on him, but Tron couldn't get into range, couldn't get there for the spin, and even with a level 1 spin, you're not going to do enough damage to General to kill him off, so Artstyle's aggressive move, already paying off dividends. And you're right, the perfect couple of creeps. Like, you know, you could argue that a Dark Troll would be better than maybe the Hellbear or the Centaur and have, you know, the initial long-range disable to trap him in, but now he's got all 3. Centaur's going to die in a couple of seconds, unfortunately. It's actually about to time out in a in a second or so. But how's the bottom lane doing? Good, because this is the one where the matchup is kind of wonky. Lone Druid is actually getting shot out a fair amount by Ditchura's Nature's Prophet. Null plus Blades of Attack. Ghostic, it seems he can't deal with these treants.
Yeah, at least for now, it's going to be just pretty clear cut. The Nature Prophet will be able to just last hit a little bit better. Yeah, Ghostic will get level 3. That'll improve the lane slightly. Level 5, it'll improve the lane dramatically. But right now, it's definitely favoring Ditya, and of course, he's going to have a lot of attack damage going his way. It looks like he's going for the base boot.
Up at the top, he's clapped out. The Hellbear got him. I'm not sure if there's enough damage from Artstyle here. Just needs to keep vision with the skeletons, and he's got it. Crystal Maiden. Not fast enough on her feet, while General just bashing away at Tron. This attack damage. With a double Fairy Fires, Tron can't trade hits with him until he gets a couple of crits in there. General this time walks it all away. Oh, Invoker. The kill on Puck towards mid. Oh, that Spirit does drop to the tower damage though. Yolk went in there with a Frostbite. Good rotation in, but still it's the Puck dying for an Earth Spirit. Well worthwhile trade for Na'Vi.
They make the jump in, they get the hit on the Puck when he gets too gritty with the orb, and although punishes it with a return Frostbite, it still is going to be Na'Vi that profits significantly here. And overall, like they're moving really well. I mean, obviously you get a bit of an advantage when you have a 335 base movement speed hero compared to a 280. So it's just one of the heroes can run circles around the other. You're definitely in a better position. But in general, I love how Na'Vi have warded early. I love how they've been able to kind of just take initiative in this laning. Obviously, the general knows how aggressive he can get in this laning configuration, and he's just making it work. At level 5 in particular, he's always going to have that Time Walk off cooldown, and he's actually baiting in the perfect gank.
Comes in from the side, General. Time Walk is on cooldown, but RMN is still going to drop. General Fairy Fires up, he's kept himself alive, and now he's got Time Walk in 5. The crit comes through, and the Frostbite misses, but another crit from Tron will secure the kill. But maybe Artstyle can save this one up and take out the healing ward. The right-click attacks, he's got a trap in 4, but the Sunstrike, no! It is! Enough damage! I thought that might just be short, but Dendy catches it, and Artstyle's not done. He keeps on going, diving behind the tower, and Yol, you've got a Tango cut through the trees, try and get yourself a way of escape, but the creeps won't give up. Chase him out, and the rolling boulder from Seneko comes in and traps the CM. It's 7-2 and 4 minutes in, and Na'Vi, they're just on a streak of good fortune.
Just massive strength jump from Na'Vi here. We're going to see Seneko most likely go down, actually gets caught by RMN, but still, again, he's happy to die for the cause just to continue to force this pressure where not only are RoX not able to gank on Dendi and put out pressure on the mid lane, but we're just seeing we're seeing some great kill momentum going at the top lane. Look at General, completely fearless here. They just do not have the control to deal with a Void, and they knew that when they went for the last pick. Mid lane though, you got to watch it. If BZZ wastes the orb, he's going to be in some real trouble.
Oh, like I was saying, Seneko just sits mid. That Earth Spirit, ever present, is waiting for his moment to strike, so they're going to try and move down towards bottom lane. The first hit entangle onto Ditchura. He could have tried to TP out of that one, but he didn't realize the Crystal Maiden was coming in from the side, and they're going to slow him and then entangle again. Ghostic on the money. Back to mid, what are we seeing? Oh, the Puck drops Seneko. He's going to die to the tower hits. But this is going to secure Dendi an incredibly speedy Midas, as he's sitting on 1,000 gold with the Gloves of Haste already purchased.
Look at Artstyle's items too. I know we were just bouncing all over the map because that's pretty much what the CIS Dota does to you, but at the same time, Artstyle actually has a quarter staff. He's rushing a Dragonlance, and he's just, as soon as he hits 6, he's gonna 3-shot support.
Going to be able to kill off RMN again here?
I doubt it. That would be very impressive. But still going to be able to speed his way away from Tron. Actually, we're going to see the Sprout come through. There are Tangos in Tron's pocket, and I think that'll be enough to get them out, but still taking a lot of damage on the back end.
That was a hefty whack out from that Furion, definitely. I just wonder if Artstyle had changed targets back onto the Witch Doctor, maybe things could have been different, but they move themselves up to pressure on this top lane, and that Observer Ward barely outside of sentry range, actually. Tornado.RoX are not going to realize that there's perfect vision here. Artstyle to actually wrap himself around. Ditchura heads back down towards bot. You need to keep tabs on this Ghostic Lone Druid.
Yeah.
Hero's going to speed himself into the Midas himself, but I just keep switching between these lanes. Because up at top, Artstyle, he's finally been found. They got the spin down. He doesn't have a level in heal, actually. Just try and get a kill on Maiden, and with the Nature's Wrath they will. Well, in general, Sunstrike with the Chrono could be a possibility here, but they're just holding on to it, waiting and biding their time. Echo Arcane Rune. He's actually hasted as well, the double rune threat as he rolls on in. Feeds himself across, and the stun kick is good. The Chrono Stun Strike is there, and Tron will find himself deep in his grave.
Dire's top tower is under
Keeping
attack.
in.
Kind of wants more.
RMN.
Malediction's gonna. Oh, he's just gonna go for the
Bash?
TP,
A stun?
and he's actually gonna
Anything?
get out. Man, that was so close. The Boulder Smash was on cooldown for like a fraction of a second. The Arcade Room puts it down pretty heavily, but just still a pretty hefty cooldown to start with. So is not able to stun him out, and the Witch Doctor will survive. Yol, on the other hand, still in some trouble if they break his tranquils, but it looks like he'll back off real quick, and the tower will go in favor of Na'Vi.
But you just look at the Invoker, this is the dream. This is the absolute dream. 6.5 minute Midas, he's already used it once. Gets himself up and running incredibly quickly. The tower at top is taken out, and Tron TP's in. Got to try and get back into this lane and get some last hits. I don't know if Tornado.RoX can rely entirely on the lone druid. Kind of wonder what kind of build you go for. If you're being pressured this early, do you really want to try and weather the storm, go Midas Radiance, hope upon hope that you can just, you know, ride out this wave of aggression from Na'Vi? That's what he's heading into. Gloves of Haste on the bear.
I think the mischance is really important, so I think the Radiance is definitely an item that you want, and because he's already got the Gloves of Haste, he is probably going to go for the Midas as well. I think it's really fortunate that he didn't go for the Iron Talon, though. He's got both the Quelling Blade and the Rig of Protection, but even just a little bit of gold, it continues to set you back from that Midas and from everything, so I think Ghostic has his head on his shoulders pretty straight, just knows that while they're going to get a tower kill or two within the next 5 minutes or so, sure, they've lost the first bullet in terms of towers, but they still can pressure heavily. Ghostic has already got some good chip damage on bottom. So overall, one tower last hit turns into Midas, and then there you just kind of have to rush the Radiance, because again, there's so much involving mischance in this game. So many hard right clickers.
Vincere, what's he up to? He's going into a Midas of his own as well. Nature's Prophet. Boots Midas for him. None of that phase boots drums nonsense that we've been saying for the hardcore push into towers and boosting your team fights. Though he has been reasonably active, and they see that courier flying across, and Vincere, he's planning on sniping it, and he's got it. Oh, does he?
Oh,
It's moved across, it's micros. Crystal Maiden on the money with a micro on the courier. Well done, Yol. I thought that was a one-hit kill, but apparently not.
Radiant's top tower is under
There's just a little
attack.
bit too much armor, but they'll get away with it. And then meantime, Artstyle does some solo pushing action down bottom, Dragon Lance complete. It's actually unfortunate Artstyle didn't buy out upon his last death, or his only death rather. He had 1,000 gold, he just got like 1,003, and then he died. If he had bought out and not lost anything, like the momentum would still be rolling for him, but he did end up giving up the kill streak. He did end up losing almost 200 gold out of it, and the Dragon Lance was delayed slightly, but nevertheless, already an attack range of 680, this level 1 impetus is already going to hurt.
General just 1v1s against Tron. He can time walk off all that damage from Blade Fury. Doesn't really care. Level 4 time walk, that ridiculously low cooldown of 6 seconds. When you look at the cooldown of Spin, 18, I'm sure General is going to be the victor in all these trades every single time. Oh, Tron. Put your Spin up again, but Suneko's here with that Chrono as well. Sunstrike into kicks. It looks like enough damage, and it is. They'll roll on into Yol and RMN with a Nature's Wrath. Just look at these supports go. They're being shredded by the damage output, and Magnetizes down. They'll secure the kill, or will they? No, they'll tick over.
Should be.
They'll tick over. Difficult to stand your ground as Tornado.RoX here.
It's just so difficult now. And now that the Void is level 7 and above, it's all pretty much impossible to kill him until the puck gets a Blink Dagger. And unfortunately, we keep on going back to that lane, but BZZ just got trounced by the Invoker. He's nowhere near a Blink. In fact, they're not even gonna barely get the kill on Artstyle, as he does get his TP canceled by Dream Coil, but even then, is untouchable, and they're having trouble finishing him off. It's gonna have to require an Omni Slash, I think.
Omni Slash, can you get in range? He's waiting, he's trying to get in there. The Ice Ball is dropped, and I'm not sure they can get the kill.
Oh!
Dendi, what a godlike player, walks in to save his old buddy. Artstyle is out.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Left it on the tier 1 bottom, like, that's 2 towers in their advantage now against a team lineup that should be dominating in terms of tower kills.
And then you see Vincere, Midas is up, so not only do they secure this early game, 12-6 at 11 minutes, taking down, what, 2 tier 1s? Still looking at this tier 1 mid at half HP. Going to be lasting too long either, but they've also got that kind of mid to late game secured. Those Midases coming up, they're going to have the items flowing, the XP and gold coming in. and then you're looking for, you know, your level 11 and oh god, never mind. I was going to say you're looking for level 11 on Invoker and Nature's Prophet in the next couple of minutes, but Dendi's level 10.5 already. He's going to be a level 11 after this creep wave, after this neutral camp, and maybe a bit of a creep wave. It's insane.
It is, and I'm not even sure what he really goes for his next item with this much momentum behind him. I mean, like, it almost makes sense to go for like an Orchid when you have this much momentum, even though you're an Exhort Invoker who usually goes for things like Yules or Blink Dagger. Very, very interesting to have this much momentum behind you. Hell, a Necronomicon isn't even that bad. You get even more objective push. Like, the world is his oyster. There are so many great options. There are so many ways to really cement your advantage at this stage in the game, and he's just got so much behind him. I think that this smoke from RoX is going to be extremely decisive. If they can get something out of it, great, and it's actually going to be bottom lane where there's pressure, and this is a tanky Ghost deck. If they go further, they're going to be feeding hard.
Oh man, they're wrapping in from the side. Y'all see Stitchy-Ra, there's no mana left on the Furion, but they take a while to get the Frostbite down. Tornado still trapped up by the Ensnare, and they're both going to drop. Tornado cannot escape from this, even with a Rolling Boulder. That's a fair amount of gold. What is that? About 1,000 gold swing there for Tornado.RoX, but gold smoke in.
They needed that so bad, though. That was such an important kill. Finding very quickly 2 kills with low commitment, just about 30 seconds of their time. That is going to be a very significant gold swing, and if anything's going to get them back on their feet, it's plays like that.
Well, it's Blink for Dendi. I was wondering if it was going to be Blink or Force Staff. I kind of like the Necro book, but against Puck Lone Druids, mobility is absolutely key. Force Staff would have been pretty good, you know, up against the old Entangle, these abilities that trap you in and snare you down, but Blink Dagger is going to be the aggressive tool here, I think, that Dendi might look to use.
Oh, this time Ditchura gets it.
Hey.
Alright.
Got ya. Now looking for art style, Yol stays his ground for this ramp. 6th Clone Druid that will get the first hit in onto General with the second hit Entangle this time. They've trapped him up, the Chrono's down, and the Omni Slash. It looked good, but it wasn't pretty enough.
It is literally impossible to kill Void without the Puck being on top of him, and that requires a Blink Dagger. So, like, the fact that Time Walk kind of acts like a Blink into like how you actually cast the spell now, but it's still not inhibited by roots like the Entangling Claws or the Frostbite. It just means that Void was the perfect last pick. Like, it's just a dramatic draft advantage for General because he gets to play so aggressively, and there's nothing to stop him. He's still juggling at like 100 HP. They've exhausted the Omni Slash, and while they can't stop this mid push, they can spread the map and get things done in the meantime.
I mean, look at Tron's HP though. Tron is dying with that final hit, but the shot is going to get taken down. They don't care about the Blade Fury. Top lane, is Ditchura dead? That's the question. I'm pretty sure he's absolutely
absolutely.
And that's Blink for the Puck as well, pretty much, when they get this kill.
Oh yeah, good connection there. Armament just kind of walks right up to him, knowing that Easy's TPing in, but over at mid lane, that's a hell of a Blink opening from In fact, that's an amazing pause right there. I'm gonna fucking showcase screenshot.
Yeah. Go to the Lone Druid showcase. Just look at the meteor falling on his head. That is amazing. I wish I could screenshot and post that to Twitter. That's pretty beautiful, actually. Do it for me, Blaze. You know you want to. Oh no, the game's starting again. Oh, Tornado Meatball. Is it going to kill him? Is it going to do a lot of damage? And it's going to catch with the Yol as well, burning him through. And there's the kick from the Boulder Smash. Ghost Stick dropping low. They did take down Ditchura at top lane, but it's a fight at mid. Na'Vi. Name up there. BGZ, that's the Blink Dagger done. That actually did secure him enough gold for it.
And again, very important that they're able to get not only the successful gank down bottom, but the successful counterplay up top. But the problem is it costs them both their corpse. I mean, it costs them the Lone Druid and the Dragonite, and that means a walk-in into the Roche pit here. With Alacrity, with Forge Spirits, this thing's going to go down extremely quickly. And being able to do Roshan without Chronosphere is just something that's incredible for Navi's lineup. Like, they don't even have to have their big ultimate and the timing of their big ultimate in order to make this work. They just take it down so quickly. RoX tries to get in position, but it's already too late.
Orb in. EZZ maybe considering the jump, but he's been caught by the tornado. He can't blink away. He's going to have to face shift. He silences Dendi, but in they jump with impetus damage. BZZ's trapped. He can't escape. He launched out the Dream Coil, but he was in such a forward position.
And with the Orb on cooldown, that's the big thing there, is like, Dendi has made plays from the Roche Pit as Puck enough times to know exactly the weakness of it, and in this case, he's committing his one escape mechanism. Dendi gets one hit on him, and it's already too late. Like, that was a great jump from Dendi, but RoX are losing so much so quickly, and now the cooldowns are back up. Like, Before, they weren't even that strong without the chrono. Now they've got everything, and I'm very afraid for Roxas.
And this is kind of why I posed the question about Lone Druid going for the Midas into Radiance. You know, this is the Storm.
I mean, like, what is the alternative, though? Like,
Yeah.
no matter what, your teams would be getting wrecked at this stage, no matter how Battle Bear you win.
It's a difficult proposition. We've seen a couple of people go back for like the phase Maelstrom if they've been really screwed over in lane. But it's kind of that weird situation where Ghost Stick was fine. You know, he had a good laning stage, the Midas timing was good. The rest of his team, though, have had a horrid time across their lanes, though. As Seneko, this roaming Earth Spirit's level 8, Artstyle level 10 on this Enchantress. Na'Vi don't have a support hero. You know, you look at this and you think, hang on, like, who's their support? There's not really anyone. There's people buying wards, but there's no one really being, having a massive detrimental lack of experience. Gonna move for Shadowblade to Dichira. Gonna catch anyone. Good Tron, TP, but Puck, BZZ, he scouted. I don't think that Na'Vi have a great opener here, though, to catch anyone out. And Tornado.RoX, they look fine to farm their jungle for a little bit longer. Dendy's farming their Ancients. Aghanim Scepter's going to be up in a second. He's already up to 3,000 gold.
But the biggest thing here, it's like, you could talk about the Invoker and how farmed he is, but I gotta look at this Enchantress. This Enchantress is a 4-position hero that has found herself above and beyond everybody on Tornado.RoX, even above General at that point in time. She has Aghanim, she has Dragonlance, and the best part, she's going to have Alacrity. We're going to see a more Wex-oriented build-up as the Invoker finishes up his Exort, and we're just going to be seeing a massive attack be coming out from the Enchantress. She's about to hit level 11 with Impetus as well as Ag's Dragonlance. She's just going to be putting out massive fear damage every fight that really just, unless you're running at the Enchantress and trying to kill the Untouchable, there's no way.
Alright, man. I'm so sorry. Yep, an inch out of place, and Na'Vi, you've got your number. Tornado.RoX, I don't know where, I don't even think they know where to go. They're kind of wandering back and forth on this middle lane, wondering, do we defend mid? We've got no vision of them. We know that there's a couple of heroes hitting the tier 2 at top, but the rest of them are kind of wandering around in our jungle, no idea what they're up to. Well, keep Tron farming a bottom lane. At this point, do you still go for the Battle Fury Juggernaut?
I mean, I'm not worried about his next item. I'm worried about their next 30 seconds, whether or not they have the high ground. Like, yeah, let's talk about their 6 slot. Let's talk about their moon shards. No, they're gonna get destroyed. Yol barely survives 2 impetus shots. Well, a third one would absolutely have been his demise. And we have to see BZZ make his opening, but there's a chrono already.
Yol, the Deafening Blast gonna come through with that Meteor, and they're both absolutely rogered by Dendy's Invoker. The buyback from Puck will come straight into the fight again. They've got Dream Coil, they've got Omni Slash. But can they get in there onto a target? They've got Glyph available. This might be the bait that they can use here, but BZZ, the one-man Dream Coil, it's not enough. They're not going to be able to do enough damage. Tron just walked in the middle of all of them, and he's absolutely screwed over by that DPS from Na'Vi. Tornado.RoX are a man bottled up by BZZ because he's being just right clicked down by this Enchantress. And Na'Vi will just move straight onto tier 3 mid. 18.5 minutes in. The blink from BZZ is good. The damage is decent. But it's a tickle on the HP pools here from Na'Vi. Artstyle finally going to get tickled down by the Death Ward and finally brought out by that Maldix. But Seneko will secure the retreat over the rest of his team with kicks and stuns and rolls. And I don't think they've got any dust here to catch Dendy. They just TP out, they Ghost Walk away. The Ice Wall is down to, again, halt that advance. Oh, BZZ.
Well, they need a kill. They're going to try to lock in Dendy. The Omni Slash is there if necessary, but they'll just pop the Aegis and most likely commit the Omni for the second round. No Ghost Walk here, so it should be Dendy's downfall.
Yeah, right. That spin means you can't blink the Deafening Blast. It actually holds him out for a little bit longer, but the full streak taken away by Puck. They lost a full lane of racks there, and the tier 3 mid is down to 280 HP. Oh, goodness. That's given so much money across the Na'Vi as well. I mean, that one kill on Dendy, that's a 2.5k gold swing.
Okay, the Puck almost going down there. Just gets an unlucky bash against him.
Did you TPing? I don't know where he's TPing to.
Yeah, well, he's going to cancel this one back over by the steps. That's right next to General. And then he's going to, because the Puck just blinked, and then he's going to redo it over where to the eastern staircase that BZZ is going to be walking up. But it should be, in general, the death of the Puck here. Like, he could try to TP instantly, hope he doesn't get bashed, and that's probably the best chance he survives. Otherwise, the Nature Prophet gets involved, and he's just screwed. But I will say that the one aspect of that Dendy kill was pretty important. He had the Aegis, which actually gave time for the buyback gold penalty of the puck and the Juggernaut to wear off there. So they got the full gold value out of it. It was 700 plus gold to the puck, and it was like over 1,000 gold to the entire team for one kill. But they're gonna have so much ground to cover. See him just go for the instant TP, and it actually will be good.
Well played. Gonna get caught there, and Ditchira didn't actually cancel that TP, he just continued on through, but with 3,400 gold. Well, this is Oyster at this point, as he can go for a Hex, he can go for anything he wants, a Desolator if he really aims to. So wait for Dendy to respawn. Neko making strides towards that mech. Tornado.RoX. This is your period, this is your window where Dendy's dead, where you can actually go and do stuff. The Relic on Lone Druid is up and running. About 400 gold off that Radiance. Could be the tide turner here.
So to answer your earlier question about Tron's item progression here, I think that Battle Fury is kind of wasteful at this moment. If he goes just for Yasha, maybe go SMY, I feel like that's going to be allowing them to get involved in the fight. He's going to go for the Claymore. That could be either the Shadowblade or the Battle Fury at this point. Hell, like I said, just getting one kill is so relevant that maybe the surprise factor of a Shadowblade would be worth it. But either way, whatever he's going, he's got a little bit more damage in his arsenal. The problem is going to be his movement speed now. Phase and Drum is great, but we've seen time and time again him just struggle to get into Omni-Slash range on certain targets. So when he's up against all these really good controlling abilities of Na'Vi, I'm not 100% sure Tron will be able to contribute fully to the fight. He's going to have to get in there quick, and he's going to be relying pretty heavily on a big Dream Coil.
Hyperstone art style, okay. Here we go, Moonshard incoming with the alacrity like you were mentioning before as well. But a 70% mischance from the Lone Druid Spirit Bear for that Radiance is going to irritate Na'Vi a fair amount as Yol. He's got a good observer board, actually watching for the movements from Na'Vi. He sees General, sees art style. Good vision across into this little area. Little nooks and crannies that Na'Vi are hiding in, even Dendy waiting and biding his time across here. But Na'Vi just going to make the most of this, farm through Ancients, keep lane pushed out. Ditchira now moving down towards bot, but it's just a bear. There's no heroes out here for RoX, and now they know that there are a couple of Na'Vi heroes bot. They're going to wrap in onto this. Artstyle General Dendy.
Yeah, great ward.
They can get a big chrono. General has been scouted out. Dendy, you've got to be careful. There's a blink into Dream Core starts. The cast's going to bounce between them and the Yol's ultimate. They do so much damage. Artstyle and Dendy, Deathly Blast is going to hold them out a little bit longer, but Dendy, Ghost Walk away. Reveal is not available here for Tornado.RoX. And they're not going to be able to get themselves the juicy kill on Invoker, even though they see the Ghost Walk trail. The Radiant's burning. They're going to find him, or are they? He walks back into a couple more. Silence out from BZZ. He's away.
In the end, but I gotta go back to this Observer Ward. Like, this is absolutely insanely lucky for Yol here. He placed it out. The Sentry Ward was already down. But obviously it's looking for like a ward that's in a much more standard position. He drops it, it's literally on the line of the sentry, but didn't get seen by Na'Vi. So that information, and combined with what they saw bottom lane, allowed them to make that play happen. And again, the kills mean so much right now for Tornado.RoX. They're in a best of one, you just gotta hold on to anything you can get. But like in this case, they are getting a lot of gold. It's just still them on the back foot. Tron will work towards that Battle Fury. It's obviously great if they probably goes for like the Aghanims, Octarine. That's essentially what my mindset would be: go for fighting items until you start seeing Nature's Prophet building up an axe, and as soon as you see that, start working towards the Battle Fury, so that you have multiple heroes that can push out the lanes against the army of trees. But no, in this case, he'll just go straight for the Battle Fury, and we'll see if he actually gets a chance to use the cleave for Na'Vi. Look to just break the base with Roche number 2.
Well, in general, he really wants to close out this game. He's got himself a Hood of Defiance, looking for that pipe. No more creep camps here for him to take, though. The thing is, Na'Vi didn't even use Chrono in that team fight. They didn't have a chance to. They were just ripped apart so quickly, efficiently by RoX. General didn't have a chance to get that Chronosphere down for Dendy to set up big old combo on. Again, they were kind of 3v5. A little bit awkward. One massive thing, though, which Na'Vi have just spotted, is RMN's upgraded Witch Doctor ult. Aghanim Scepter for that Death Ward is absolutely massive. If they can get a big puck, silence Dream Coil, and let RMN move into position for that ultimate, Na'Vi be in a spot of bother.
Yeah, but I feel like that's why Ditchira went for the build he went. The Shadowblade Orchid is really good at catching the Witch Doctor on the backside and making it impossible for him to get that Death Ward out. So I was kind of talking about in the draft getting you're on a hero that can just add in one extra stun, one extra disable to cancel that Death Ward. And while he didn't get that naturally with the hero, he actually got it through the item pickup. And I feel it's really strong here. Getting a silence on either the Puck before the Eels comes out or the Witch Doctor at any point this game is going to be extremely valuable. And at that point, if the Death Ward fails, then I feel like RoX just fall flat.
It's still Na'Vi kind of plateauing with their lead, 15k net worth, 7,500 experience. Not moving forward, but not moving back as RMN. General with a DD has found him, and on the back, the Sprout onto BDZ kills him off as well. 2 heroes without buyback. Taken out of the fight as they were way outside of their boundaries.
Yeah, the Puck was desperate for that, finishing off the Yules. He was so close. All he needed was a Sage's Mask. And so he's like, okay, we'll just get one wave. I'll get this. They don't expect me to go out and farm this. And in doing so, he just gets finished off. The Bear is actually taking a lot of damage too. Sending it back in, Ghost Stick is going to need to resubmit. Okay, loses it. And this is going to be maybe their last defense.
Yep, and it's without your big teamfight initiator and without your big teamfight ultimate. They were looking to get this Glimmer Cape up on the Crystal Maiden and just have the big Wombo combo out from Tornado.RoX, but you've lost another lane of racks. And bot lane's already pushed in. Na'Vi have done very well this game, and Tornado.RoX, they haven't really had the answers for them.
And now General has the pipe, so it's only the Death Ward that can do anything here. The Omni Slash and the Death Ward are the 2 key things try to hold this final lane of racks or the game is done.
Puck is alive. You've got to TP into this. You've got to get yourself straight into the team fight. But if Na'Vi can dodge, spread themselves out, it's a 4-man dream call. He's caught them all. Where's the Death Ward? Where's the combo? They're trapped them all in, and there we go. Look at it go with the Chrono down. Orman's still standing, but the Chrono cancels the Death Ward out, and there's no more bounces. But Tornado.RoX, a good ice wall with a boulder smash, will keep Ghosting held in place, and GG's called it. Just tap out. It's done. It's over. Na'Vi win this best of 1 in some fashion.
2 major things that gave Na'Vi so much momentum in the early game. One of them is very clearly the draft. We were on the same page as Tornado.RoX. We were assuming that this Nature's Prophet was going to the off lane. The General was looking to just, get an extra core hero that can contribute a lot of damage, but not necessarily a lot of disable, and is also very easy to punish if he tries to go out hard on the lane. So they get up heroes like Witch Doctor, Juggernaut, and later on the CM, just to be like, okay, well, this Furion is not going to be able to do anything in the top lane.